Hello guys, myself Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Pandey, working as an Associate Professor in Law in Raman Institute Kanpur. Today I am going to discuss a new topic of international law, that is the Convention, UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, 1982. This convention about the sea's law means, what do you feel about it? What you feel, what is the meaning of the law of the sea? Perhaps you feel the law which is made on the ship at sea, that law is a law of sea law. Is it true? Some men say the sea governed, the law of the sea governed to the states. That is there. Now, United Nations Law of Convention of the Sea is the convention produced a document which is now acceptable worldwide, and all other conventions related and outlaw or rendered. What is the meaning of it? The meaning of it, when the Convention of Law of the Sea is implemented over the states, the other law which was earlier present are outlaw or being left. Means this only law regulates all the states over the sea. This law regulates the boundaries and issues related to sea globally. This law has almost universal adoption, means ratified by maximum of the states, and after ratification they have incorporated those rights enshrined in the law of the sea in their national laws. My dear students, I want to tell you there are two kinds of states in the whole world. One is the common law states, and the second one is civil law states. Common law states and civil law states. What is the difference between these two? Common law states are those states where if any state wants to implement any law which is international law, part of the international law, they can implement in that country after the ratification of the states. After the ratification of states means states, head of the states gone to the UN convention, taken part in that, and after the signature of that state head is not being the part of the land of the law. It can be a part of the land of the law when after the ratification, means after getting the signature of the head of the state, means you can say the president, and after the parliament they have changed some law. After that, that law can be incorporated in that states. That's why in common law states all parts which is related to the international law cannot be implemented as it is on that particular day. They shall be implemented after the ratification. But in civil law states, there is some changes. Means what kind of changes? After the signature of the head of the states, states shall implement on that particular day on that states. So this is the difference between common law states and civil law states. And some other countries, there are different kinds of regime is present, that is kingship. The kind of kingship, when a signature is put by the king on a UN convention, that particular day is the implemented day on that particular states on the international UN conventions, etc., etc. Means there are three kinds of regimes you can find. One is kingship states. Yes, students, this is the main difference between the common law states, civil law states, and kingship states. Now, may ask question to me, sir, you have said that you are going to teach me the law of the sea and you have started this. I have told you, because if you don't know these differences, then how you can determine why the law of the sea is different than other states. My dear students, now I want to make a picture to make you understand about the law of the sea. Suppose this is the land and this is the land where the trees are present, and means that is the marshy land. Then after this is the sea. There is a water in that area. And there is a fish. You can see this fish is laughing. And up to the, if you see, that land means that is a coastal area of a state. Up to here, that is 12 nautical mile area. 12 nautical mile area is considered as a territorial water, as a territorial water. You may ask, what is the feature of territorial water? My dear students, territorial water is that water where the states has all rights. The state has all rights to implement their law on it. Means if any state's ship wants to navigate from that area, then he must get the permission from that coastal states. Then after he can go from that area. Either if a plane wants to go from that particular area of the land, then he must get permission. Then after it can enter in the territorial water area. Otherwise, it is not permitted. So that is 12 nautical mile area is like that, means it can be added to the other states. Before the Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, only 3 miles is given to all the states, to the coastal states, to the seas. Students, this convention has rendered all other national or international conventions or treaties related to sea issues and produced in one document. Means all others law are prevailing before the law of the Convention of the Sea is outlaw. Outlaw means deleted from the other states' law. This convention serves as a constituent instrument to those entities, and the convention serves also as a non-establishing treaty, and this convention also serves as a codifying treaty. You may ask question, sir, what is codifying treaty? Codifying treaty means the treaty means the law is in written. The law is in written. Sometimes you feel a question, you may ask a question, your international law is not written, but states are trying to in written form. So it is called codifying a law. By a picture, that picture I have drawn, I am going to do it more and more to make you understand about the sea law in different regime. Basic features, important fundamental type buildings, blocks, and the countries ratifies the convention in the provides rights to them. Means if a state, what is the use of treaty in a state in international law? Treaty are the instruments by which a state gets some rights and renders his some rights too. Students, I have told you that is the mainland and that is the territorial water and that is the terrestrial area. From here, from mainland to 12 nautical mile area, that is called territorial water. Then after, from 12 nautical mile to 200 nautical mile, this area is called exclusive economic zone. Exclusive economic zone means, what does it mean? It means in exclusive economic zone, a coastal state having rights over the seawater and beneath the seawater, means beneath the land, means he has all rights in the seawater and the land. What it mean? It means if there is a important minerals, fishes and the oil, gas, which is found beneath the sea, the states having the coastal states having excluding all the states over rights to get these kinds of these minerals, means it can abstract all kinds of gases, all kinds of minerals, all kinds of oil in that area, means he has not right above the sea. He has no right above the sea, means aeroplane can then navigate from that area. There is no need to ask from the coastal states that it can flow over that. No, he has no need to ask, because states, coastal states having rights over the inside the seawater and beneath the seawater up to 200 nautical mile. Okay. Not only this, resources of sea means not only fishes but includes all minerals, oil, petroleum which has been found beneath the seabeds. All coastal states wants to occupy maximum area which is covered by sea, but it is not come under the purview of the coastal states, because it regulates by the Convention on the Law of the Sea, 1982. Because every state wants to increase his land. Every state wants to increase his land. But it is governed by the law of the sea, so it regulates. Means, by this way, you may understand there are three regimes has been created by the law of the sea to control the states' rights over the sea. First is, it gives us right to territorial water. It gives us right to territorial water, which I have told you, that is up to 12 nautical mile. Before the 1982 convention, it was only 3 nautical mile. Now it is 12 nautical mile. What does it mean? It means it will be deemed to be part of the law of the sea land of India up to 12 nautical mile, which is covered by sea from the land of the territorial water. States includes all rights in sea water from the land of the territorial water. Means if any ship want to pass from the territorial water, even he has not come at the bank of the sea, if it wants to pass from that particular territorial water, it must get permission if it wants to navigate from the territorial water. I am telling you, nearly 35 states having that kind of purview, that if any ship wants to pass or navigate as a safe passage, then it must get permission. Like India also that kind of regime states. And if submarine wants to pass from that territorial water, then it must get permission from the state and it can go through. There is no any kind of restrictions to pass as safe passage, as innocent passage from that area. States will pass. Navigation is permitted under the UN Convention Law of the Sea. My dear students, the second is But there is a reservation of territorial water, and that is territorial waters are subject to the right of innocent passage. UN Convention on the Law of the Sea passed through territorial water. It is that this is called the right to innocent passage, not for military purposes. Means if a ship is not a military ship, then it can navigate from that area. Over 35 states are permitted, have been given permission to the states, they can pass through from that navigation, that territorial water, but other states don't have that purview. Some states, yeah. And why these rights given? You may ask question, sir, why this territorial water entry given to the ship? Even you have told me, sir, territorial water is the law of the land. States having right above the sea level, in the water, and and beneath the sea water. Then why the ships can pass through and as an innocent passage from that area? Because of before the 1982 convention, states having the right up to 3 nautical miles. But now they are reserving their rights. They have extended their rights up to 12 nautical miles. So this permission is given to the ships. They can pass through as an innocent passage from that area. I want to tell you what does it mean. It means they can pass through as an innocent passage. Why this right given? I have told you. Okay. Now, exclusive economic zone, which I have told you here, given some rights, and character of that rights is the economic character. Economic character means economic kinds of activities can be done by the coastal states over the other states, right? Means these rights can be done by the coastal states. Means fishing and oil digging. Fishing and oil digging and other minerals which is found under the sea. The first right of the coastal states and the other rights are of the other states. For example, suppose there is a park in my house. There is a lawn I have in my house. I can go there and all the things which is there like trees, like plants, I can sit anywhere. I can do everything in that area, in my park, in my lawn. I can do any kind of activities in that area. The whole rights belongs to me. That is called territorial water. But if I gone to in a park, government park, I have purchased a ticket to enter in that park. Either I have not taken a ticket to enter in that park, but I can't do any kind of event in that area. That is called exclusive economic zone. Means I can do fishing, I can dig the oil, dig the gas from that area. Yes. So this is exclusive economic zone. Means you have excluding other states' right. You can do it, but you can't. Means ships can pass through from that land without any question, without any getting permission from you. But till the fishing and till the digging of the oil gases, you have a right over than others. So exclusive economic zone means some rights are conferred on the coastal states to the exclusive to the others, but only to economic nature, like fishing, digging the oil, gases, minerals, and so on and so forth. Now, next is that is called continental shelf. Continental shelf. What is that? That is from coastal or from, you can say, from the mainland to 350 nautical mile. 350 nautical mile. The coastal states has some rights. What rights is here? You can see in air, in water, and beneath the sea. Territorial water states have all rights. In exclusive economic zone, states has right in the seawater and the beneath the land, but here in continental shelf, state has right to digging the oil only. Digging the oil only means he has no right at the seawater. All other states having equal rights in that area, but because only to digging, the coastal states having that right. Other states has no right to dig in that particular area from here to here. But fishing is allowed to all the other states. If you want to give permission to the other states that you can dig, means you want to get a permit to the other states, you can dig from the oil from this area, you can give only. So this is the regime which is given by the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea to the other states. My dear students, I think you have understand. This is the rights given by the United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea by that state. But you know, there are some states having no coast, no sea. There are 16 to 17 countries are having no coast. Means what? They have no right on sea. Yes, they have also given some rights. That is called right to transit. Right to transit. Right to transit. My dear students, please tell me, there are some states having no sea, like Nepal, Bhutan, Afghanistan, near about 16 to 17 countries having no sea. What they have, then what, by what means they will get the benefit of the sea? Our Convention on the Law of the Sea permits to those states or coastal states, they told to the coastal states, they have gone under the treaty between the landlocked states. Means those states having no sea coast are called landlocked states. They must go to the treaty, under the treaty, from the treaty to the that states. By that way, they will given a transit. Means if landlocked states import some items for its use, then the transit states, coastal states give permission to that state to come with that. These countries have right to transit to purpose of its trade. The states having sea coast to right to transit to enter in an agreement with landlocked states, and that agreement will negotiable the distribution of exploitation of sea resources like fishes. Means landlocked states will enter into the treaty or an agreement with the coastal states to get some rights over the sea. Thank you. Thank you very much.